Greetings and blessings, dear friends in the spirit 111. It's Eddie Luisi. How are you? I'm calling today's message Live Kindly. Before I start reading and talking about Live Kindly, I'm actually taping this Saturday at 8 o'clock in the morning. Usually Saturday mornings I wake up like 5 o'clock in the morning and I prep my talk, and then I stop by the chapel at St. Greg's and I go to the gym and work out, and then I come here around 9 o'clock or so. But I slept in. I slept into 6 o'clock. But I just felt like I wanted to do this talk. And so I prepped it. I had a lot of info and I just kind of put it in order. And I came right here to the Marian Shrine at the Pavilion. And I'm going to do the talk. It's called Live Kindly. And it's pretty interesting. This talk is kind of inspired by my son, Andrew Luisi. More about him later on. Okay, so let's do a little reading here. To live kindly means to live in a way which shows appreciation to our humanity, our home, and those who we share it with. Inspired by the notion that Mother Nature's intricate design is arguably flawless, the Living Kind community, I'll tell you about them, have come together to build a home for informative and thought-provoking content, focusing on sustainable and compassionate living. Their values are in alignment with the social responsibility we all have to empower others, to be honest with the information we share, and to be strong, even when the odds may feel as though they're stacked against us. Live Kindly is a small company trying to make a big difference. They are a community-based media startup focused on producing engaging content on sustainable and compassionate living, and are currently looking for like-minded people to help them along the way. That's where my son Andrew comes along. Andrew's currently in Germany, and he's looking for a job in Berlin for the next 2 or 3 years. And he found Live Kindly on the internet, and he's applying for them. And then he showed me their website, and I love this place. So I kind of got a little bit of their info, and I'm sharing it with you, and I'm making the whole talk about this. And this is from one of their graphics, I guess on Facebook. It says, "How silly are we that we destroy our planet to produce foods that are killing us?" Uh-oh. Okay, I'm gonna get a little heavy eventually, but this is all interesting. You know, I talk about spiritual things, and I'm a church musician. I work Good Morning America. And last week I told you I turned 59 years old, right? And from 59 to 60, I'm going to do new things, and this is my year of transforming and seeing where I'm going in the future. And one of the things is health also, right? I'm going to be 60, and I still have 4 kids. My youngest is 11, so I want to be around for a while, friends in the spirit, taking care of my family. So my son Andrew, he's in Germany, and he a few months ago turned into a vegan. Okay, and he's been on and off of vegetarianism, and myself also, but he's a vegan and he's loving it. And it's not just about the food, but it's about the philosophy and about animals and a lot of things. Okay, and I don't know it all, so I'm not going to be an expert. But he said, "Dad, you got to read this book." So I went to the library and I got this book. It says, "Why We Love Dogs, Eat Pigs, and Wear Cows." So I'm almost all the way done. There's some really horrific stories in here. I'm not going to share those stories, but I'm going to read one thing. And check it out. Check it out, friends in the spirit. If slaughterhouses had glass walls, Sir Paul McCartney once claimed that if slaughterhouses had glass walls, everyone would be a vegetarian. He believed that if we knew the truth about meat production, we'd be unable to continue eating animals. Yet on some level, we do know the truth. We know that meat production is a messy business, but we choose not to know just how messy it is. We know that meat comes from an animal, but we choose not to connect the dots. And often we eat animals and choose not to know we're even making a choice. Violent ideologies are structured so that it is not only possible, but inevitable that we are aware of an unpleasant truth on a level where only while being oblivious to it on another. Common to all violent ideologies is this phenomenon of knowing without knowing, and it is the essence of carnism. Inherent in violent ideologies is an implicit contract between producer and consumer to see no evil, hear no evil, and speak no evil. Sure, animal agribusinesses go to great lengths to protect their secrets, but we make their job easy for them. They tell us not to look, and we turn away. They tell us the billions of animals that we never see live outdoors on a peaceful farm. And as illogical as this is, we don't question it. We make their job easy because on some level, most of us don't want to know the way things really are. But at the same time, we also want and deserve the freedom to make informed decisions, to be free thinkers and active consumers. Such freedom is obviously impossible if we aren't aware that we are making choices in the first place. When an invisible ideology guides our beliefs and behaviors, we become casualties of a system that has stolen our freedom to think for ourselves and to act accordingly. That's all I'm going to read about that. If you want to check it out, check it out. Friends in the spirit, all life is blessed. All life is blessed, including animals, even insects. I mean, you could probably hear the insects right now. I tell you, I grew up in Queens, so I grew up with some interesting insects, and we used to kill them, especially if they were in our apartment. And even now, I mean, this morning there was a big centipede in my sink, and it startled me, and I got rid of it. And then I said, what am I doing? It's all life. God created all life. So I am trying, at 59 years old, I am trying to change my ideologies about meat, about animals, about insects, about life. All life is blessed. God created all life. We're life also, right, friends in the spirit? So I can't just talk about us humans, even though we're all spiritual beings, right? But this is our human body. So I'm going to read something from Daily Word. It's called Unity. We are one in the harmony and unity of divine love. As human beings, we have so much in common with each other. We all want to enjoy our lives, to have good food, fresh air, and loving relationships. So even with diverse opinions, backgrounds, and lifestyles, in many ways, we are in unity despite our differences. Unity co-founder Charles Fillmore shared, "Divine mind is the one and only reality. There is a oneness in the human condition we all share. Recognizing the unity I have with others enables me to feel compassion rather than anger, to be forgiving rather than judgmental, and to look for opportunities to express appreciation to all people. I choose to see God expressing in all people and all things, in nature, in life, and even in myself." And from Ephesians chapter 4, verse 1, lead a life worthy of the calling to which you have been called. Where have you been called, friends in the spirit? I know for some reason, and I don't know why, but for some reason I'm doing these weekly videos, and I love it. I'm really enjoying these videos, and I don't know, like I said, I don't know where it's going, but the reach is getting bigger. Thank you. Thank you. I mean, I had, hundreds of people, and then it went up a little bit, and then it went up to, I was like steady 2,500 of reaching out. And just the other week, over 5,000. Wow, thank you. So I'm trying my best. I'm doing these videos. Hopefully I'm touching your heart, your lives, and then you're touching other people, and you're doing what you're doing to help this world, this community. I think I might have said this a long time ago, but about greater good. Do you know greater good? Every morning, I go on the website, Greater Good, and .org, and I click on, they have like little links, and I click on a little button, and then it goes to all these other sites, which I'm gonna read right now. But it's all free. And you're helping this world, you're helping people, you're helping animals, you're helping for free. Greater Good, providing easy online ways to help people, animals, and the planet. Greater Good began in 1999. 999, I'm gonna have to check that out later, I just realized that. To provide support for worthy causes through easy online actions. Since its launch, Greater Good has contributed more than 50 million to charities around the world. And this is free for you guys. Free. All you do have to spend 1 minute clicking on like 8 little bars. Please do it, friends in the spirit. It's just a wonderful thing. It's easy, it's fast, it's free. Each of our course-related website partners with nonprofits to provide, each of our course-related website partners with nonprofits to provide support through many different easy actions, including a free fast click, and then there's shopping, and through the Gifts That Give More online donation program. So you can do extra stuff. Currently, all donations generated by Greater Good activities are distributed by greatergood.org, a 501c3 nonprofit. Each year, greatergood.org grants go to more than 130 charities working in the United States and worldwide. Hey, Himansu in India, worldwide. You know we're building a church in India, right? Through New Skin and through Natasha Danielle and her friends. We're doing great stuff here, friends in the spirit. Recent grants include, but are not limited to, providing meals for the hungry and supporting sustainable practices to end poverty, providing micronutrients and oral rehydration formula to bring ailing infants and children back to health, supporting breast cancer research and programs helping women receive free mammograms, rescuing and caring for abandoned pets or endangered animals until a permanent home can be found, helping families cope with autism, feeding homeless veterans and assisting them in finding housing and jobs, funding leading-edge diabetes research, encouraging reading and literacy through providing books, scholarships, and other educational services, and preserving rainforests and other wildlife habitat. Friends in the Spirit, you can learn more about their current projects and how you can help at greatergood.org. I'm doing a lot of little promos here, but these promos are good. And I'm not making any money off this. I'm just promoting some good stuff, good things that could help you, that could help our environment, that could help animals, that could help our planet. So I'm going to read something from Root and Branch Nutrition. My friend Kim, she lives locally. I think she went to school with my son Andrew. I'm not sure. But she has her own little company. It's a health and nutrition, but she calls it Root and Branch. Building a more balanced, vibrant you by working from the roots up. And she's starting a course on Mondays, I think starting September 10th for 4 Mondays up here in Stony Point, Rockland County. And I'm going to sign up, and I'm going to encourage you, if you live in the North Rockland or Rockland area, sign up. Sign up. This is part of my journey, 59 to 60, to be healthy and spiritually healthy, mind, body, soul, to be healthy for my family and for you, friends in spirit. I want to continue this ministry and see where it goes and see where God, has me blessing myself, my family, my friends. So, Kim's philosophy is called My Philosophy. This is on her website. A real approach to real food for real life. This is really good. Do you know how amazing your body is designed to feel? Sadly, most of us don't. And worst of all, most don't realize that we are in control of this. We are in control of how we feel, but also how we look and perform, physically and mentally. In fact, most symptoms, disorders, and diseases can be traced back to what we put in our bodies. But very simply, nutrition is a tool we can use to improve our lives. What we eat and how we eat, it determines whether we thrive or just survive. And when you think about it, isn't feeling good, living a long, fulfilled, happy life the ultimate goal? She believes that nature provides us with what we need to be healthy. Our bodies have an innate capacity to function properly, fight off illnesses, heal from sickness and injury, and be full of energy and vitality. We are meant to be strong, resilient, powerful beings. How? Our bodies are constantly working to maintain health by monitoring internal conditions, regardless of never-ending changes occurring both inside and outside of them. Collectively, these thousands of processes are summed up into one concept: homeostasis, which is what gives our bodies the power to regulate, regenerate, and repair. RRR. Oh, this is cool. RRR. Look at my thing. Robin Renee Roberts. RRR. Regulate, regenerate, and repair. I don't know if you're watching this, Robin, but I love you. She's a friend in the spirit. Homeostasis is how we achieve balance. So, dear friends in the spirit, that's a nutritional balance type thing in nature, eating the right foods, exercising, sleeping, drinking water, taking care of our bodies. Spiritually, what are you doing to take care of your body? Are you meditating? Are you praying? Are you volunteering? Are you being thankful? And it's interesting. If our body, God created our bodies, and everything's perfect. I mean, medically, the way things work, I'm not a doctor. Dr. Michael Gillen, he's a dear friend of mine and a friend in the spirit. He could tell you, this temple, this body is awesome the way it works. It rejuvenates, it refreshes, it repairs. It works miraculously. It's like God really blessed us with these bodies. So let's take care of our bodies for ourselves, for our families, for our friends, for our communities. Spiritually also, that's what Friends in the Spirit are about, helping others, connecting with others spiritually. So I'm going to end on a fun note and another friend. Oh, by the way, Friends in the Spirit, a little coffee break. This is brought to you by Starbucks. Actually, what I started also for myself. I was doing some of the teeth whitening stuff with New Skin, and then I was also doing Thrive 2.0, and I was taking pills and shake and a patch. I'm not doing any of that right now, and it's all good, and it's good for certain people, but I'm doing this more natural stuff, and I'm going to hook up with Kim and do Eating to Thrive. And but what I'm doing for myself, I'm doing intermittent fasting, and I'm basically not eating for 16 hours of the day, and then I just eat for 8 hours of the day. And I eat healthy. I'm a vegetarian. Um, I do have eggs, but I go to the store and I buy Pete and something eggs. They're like the best. They're the most expensive, $6 a dozen. But aren't I worth that? Isn't my family worth it? Organic, free ranging, no hormones, antibiotics, none of this crazy stuff. And I'm drinking. I've always drank coffee, right? And I stopped it when I was doing the Thrive 2.0 patch, but I'm drinking a couple cups of coffee again, but black. And it's not as tasty as with sugar and milk, but it's healthier. And I'm still getting my little caffeine that helps me since I work Good Morning America and I wake up early. But so I'm going to end on a fun note. My dear friend Kevin, Keven, Kevin Locke, who used to be the art director at GMA, he's now, I think, in the Seattle area, somewhere up there. So he has a blog called Art Practice and he's starting a little cartoon thing. It's Grant and Ninth. So Grant and Ninth. The hardest thing in the world? What? Getting someone to read your blog. Help Kevin out. He wants you to read his blog. He's a very, very, very spiritual person, a good husband, a good father. He's creative. He's an art director, a writer. He's fabulous. He's studied and practices Eastern philosophies and religion. He's a Hindu. He's wonderful. Whenever he comes to New York, we always get together and have breakfast, and we have these wonderful conversations. But this is what he wrote. He wrote very little, but I'm going to read it. These two guys have recently wandered into and out of my head. The first guy actually appeared a few years ago, back when I asked a carpenter friend and a colleague of mine how many platforms it would take to make a 24-foot circle. The other guy just showed up recently. I sense that I will be hearing more from them. That's all for today. Thanks for checking in, Kev. It's simple. But so he's going to do some fun stuff with his cartoons. But he writes some really wonderful blogs, Art Practice and I introduced him to Father Richard Rohr, Rohr, from the Center of Action and Contemplation, somewhere in the Midwest. I'm not sure, but my dear friend John Calabrese, childhood friend, told me about Richard Rohr. He's a Catholic priest, but he sees things differently. I love his sermons. He has podcasts. I listen to his podcasts. He reads the gospel in a Catholic church, and he records it, and then he gives a short homily. And it's fabulous. He opens up the word in ways that I've never heard of it, okay? He's a Jesus person. Somebody texted me and said, how come you never talk about Jesus? Father Richard Rohr talks about Jesus. Check him out. Also, Rob Bell. I listen to his podcast. Rob Bell is fabulous. And I only met him once, but he used to do these Nooma videos, Nooma. And I bought the whole series on DVD. I don't know if there's like 24 or so. But I was on a cornerstone retreat at St. Greg's Catholic Church, Jesus-based church, and there was one of his little vignettes of videos was called The Lump. And basically, and I'm going to end on The Lump. And Rob Bell, if you're watching, you're listening, or any of your people, I'm ready to be on your podcast. Interview me. The Lump was about this family, husband, wife, and a little boy. And on their dining room table, they have a little bowl. And there's always junk inside there and stuff. And if people find stuff, they throw it. It's kind of like a junk drawer. But they found a golf ball there. And they were like, wow, where did this come from? And a husband and wife are saying, where did this come from? Where did this come from? And all of a sudden the little boy comes and they say, hi, how are you? How's your day? And where did this golf ball come from? And the little boy was like, oh my goodness. And he ran upstairs and he was gone. And the parents looked at each other and said, uh-oh, something's up with this golf ball. And Rob, as the dad, walks up the stairs and he sees this lump in the bed. And his son is underneath the sheets. And I think he like waited a while. I think I don't remember the whole story. I'm sorry, I'm 59. But I think the kid was there for a long time. And Rob sits at the side of the bed. He said, oh my goodness, my son must be sweating. And whatever he did, he's so upset. He's underneath this and he can't come out. And he basically pulls the blanket back and the son's there. And the whole gist of this is Rob as the father, but also God the Father saying, he said to his son, no matter what you do, I will always love you. No matter what you do, I will always love you. No matter what you do, I will always love you. And that stuck with me, the lump. The kid was the lump, but God our Father, me as a parent, no matter what you do, I will always love you. Whew, what a great message. I wasn't planning to go there. That's like a good story when I talk about love, but I went there. So dear friends in the spirit, 111, have a blessed weekend, a blessed week. Don't forget to share your faith with family and friends. And, I'm not going to pressure you to be a vegetarian or vegan, but hey, if you want to check out that book, or if you want to, like, once a week, don't eat meat, like, just help these animals out getting slaughtered and killed in these awful, awful ways. And the interesting thing also, one last note, the people, there's a lot of foreigners that uneducated people that work in these slaughterhouses that are killing 10,000 animals a day. And it's bad for them too. I mean, that's no way to live. So maybe one meal a day, one meal a week, no meat. Maybe two, maybe three. If you feel better, maybe it's a good thing. Maybe it's a good thing for our planet, for our animals, for certain people. So have a wonderful week. God bless you. God bless your faith, your family and friends. I'm going to pan around. You're going to hear a little nature.